You wake up on your 29th birthday, and everyone treats you like a god. Strangers smile at you in the street. Your parents stare at you too long. Your friends raise a glass with a strange intensity, as if they are trying to memorize your face. There are no wrinkles on anyone, no grey hair, no hospital ads, no cancer fundraisers, no anti-aging creams. The world looks young, glowing, almost immortal. Because in this timeline, no one dies before 30. You have never seen a funeral. You have never heard the word heart attack outside of old books. There are no pediatric wards, no life insurance for 20-year-olds, no gone too soon posts. Before 30, your body simply does not break. You do not get sick beyond mild, temporary annoyances. Bones knit, organs repair, cuts vanish. The first 3 decades of life are invincible. But there is a catch that everyone grows up hearing in bedtime stories and school lectures. At 30, the bill comes due. Biology here works like a cruel savings account. All the damage your cells do not pay for in your teens and 20s accumulates in the background. Every tiny mistake your DNA makes, every stress your organs endure, every bad choice your younger self shrugs off goes on a cosmic tab. No symptoms, no warning. Just a quiet, unseen counter ticking up. Then, sometime during your 30th year, it all catches up. All at once. No one knows the exact day. That is the other part of the horror. You might collapse on the morning after your 30th birthday party. You might make it to 30 years and 11 months. But there is no one older than 30 walking round. There are no 40-year-old politicians, no 60-year-old grandparents, no 100-year-old stories. Your history books are full of young leaders making extreme decisions first, because later is not a thing they can count on. As a kid, it did not seem real. 30 was another planet. Now it is orbiting close. Think about what that does to a society. No one saves for retirement. There is no retirement. Careers are compressed into a frantic race from 18 to 28. You do not slowly climb a corporate ladder. You sprint up whatever you can scale before the clock runs out. CEOs are 26. Presidents are 27. The greatest scientists die with unfinished notes still wet on the page, leaving behind half-built theories and half-cured diseases. Birth rates spike as people hit their mid-20s and realize they have maybe 4 years to have children, raise them a little, and leave them behind. Grandparents exist only as photos of young faces in old frames. Every family tree is shallow and sharp, generations stacked close together, each one dying almost at the same age. Risk looks different too. Why not climb that mountain, start that war, flood your body with stimulants, cram in as much sensation as possible? No one worries about what heavy drinking will do to them in their 50s. There is no 50. Hangovers are mild, livers regenerate. The future ends at 30, and your teenage brain never really learns to think farther than that. And then there are the 30ths themselves. Some people hold elaborate last-year festivals. They travel, confess, forgive, abandon. Others pretend nothing is happening, swear they will be the exception in a world where exceptions do not exist. There is an entire industry built around the illusion of control. Diets, rituals, talismans. Make it to 30.9. Hack your biology. Delay your collapse. No one has ever succeeded, but the market is strong. Scientists have spent generations trying to understand the mechanism. They have mapped genes, built models, run simulations on supercomputers that themselves are designed by people who will never see their own code running 10 years from now. They have learned almost everything about how the body stays young until 30. They have learned almost nothing about why the switch flips, why the tab comes due in a flood instead of a trickle. One of the dominant theories is cosmic irony, not in a mystical sense, but in a strict biological one. Somewhere back in deep time, a mutation happened that gave a species near-perfect repair for 30 years and then catastrophic failure. Maybe it was adaptive in a world where predators and accidents rarely let anything live long anyway. Before civilization, 30 was a miracle. Now, 30 is a war. What does it feel like when your catch-up comes? In this world, people do not talk about it much. There are no survivors to interview. There are only sensors in smart homes, logs from ambulances, biometric devices that record the last days of seemingly healthy 29 years. One moment readings are normal. The next, entire system spike and crash. Multiple organ failure, cascading cancer, brain breakdown. All the little problems, other humans spread out over 40, 50, 60 years strike in a single brutal rush. So here you are, 29, staring into that reality like it is a mere turn to fall. You look round at your world and see what this rule has done to time itself. Technology advances in violent leaps. A prodigy in their 20s makes a breakthrough, dies, leaves behind code and notes others in their 20s race to decode before they, too, vanish. Out burns bright and fast. No elder statesman of any field. No long, slow mastery. Everyone is a rising star or a falling one. Wisdom, in the usual sense, is rare. You cannot live long enough to calmly test your beliefs against decades of experience. Emotional maturity becomes a luxury. People try to compress therapy, philosophy, spirituality into a handful of frantic years. Some succeed, many do not. A world of brilliant, impulsive 20-somethings runs everything. The results are exactly as stable as you imagine. Now for the real twist. A small, quiet group of researchers thinks they have found a way out. Not a cure, not immortality, a hack. They have discovered that what happens at 30 is not entirely random. There are patterns in the timing and severity of the catch-up. People whose lives are structured a certain way, who manage stress, environment, exposure, might not live longer, but their collapse is less catastrophic. In simulations, some do not die instantly. They age 20 or 30 years in hours, fall into comas, but their bodies plateau around what you would call 60. 60, in this world, would be a god. If you could stay alive on the other side of 30, even a little, you could be the first true elder. The first person to carry real lived history across more than one generation. The first to see the long arc. The choice in front of you is brutal. Do you live your 20s like everyone else, burning fast, spending your invincible years on sensation and short-term wins? Or do you live like a monk in a world of fireworks, gambling that by being careful now you might buy a few extras that no one has ever seen? You stare at a screen full of ads, you love. Live fast. Nothing lasts. It hits differently in a world where that is not a metaphor. The what if is not just no one dies before 30. The real what if is this. What if you knew the exact shape of your head? And the only freedom you had was how seriously you took it. If this alternate reality made you think differently about time, risk, and what you do with your years, do not let it end here. Hit like, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments which impossible timeline we should step into next. Your idea might be the next what if we bring to life.